Good day. Yeah, Mark from Sharkbait here, and it is another edition of Story Time at Sharkbait. Back, oh boy, over 20 years ago, probably 1997, I received an email from a company I wasn't familiar with called SKB, and they asked to come over to my very impressive little barn. Back in those days, I just had basically it was a storage type unit in the little strip center that later in 2001 we opened as a retail store. But in those days, 97, maybe 98, I was just operating, I had been operating out of my home, and that's where I started up out of my house in the beginning of the internet days and fishing. And sold tackle there and kind of gradually developed a little bit of a business. Got a storage unit. In the storage unit, I kind of set that up as a store, and I use that to stage the gear, because I always felt that it's important to have inventory and not just rely upon distributors and manufacturers to fulfill orders. So I had my little barn, and I would go to my day job and then come back and then go ahead and do the orders, pack stuff up, drop it off at the post office in the morning, then go on to work. And that was my cycle. But I got an email from these guys at SKB, and they asked if they could come over and show me a new product. And so I said, sure bet, come on down. And again, I was working out of this barn that I had stacked to the gills. And later wound up opening that up to the public, once a month, once every 3 weeks, once every 2 weeks, and then did the store. In any event, this fella comes over, and big kid. I'm 6'2". This guy I got to be 6'5", 6'6". Big young kid, maybe 20 years old. He'd taken a year off from school, and as it turns out, he was the son of the owner of SKB. And SKB, as I came to understand later, huge manufacturing company in Orange County. I think they had 3 or 4 warehouses, and they manufactured equipment that was well known in the military side, in the professional music side, for instrument cases, gun cases, golf club cases, all this sort of stuff in rotomolded form. So very heavy duty gear and well thought of within their area. Well, the owner of the firm, my understanding, he bought a 56-foot Viking boat. He didn't like the tackle storage that was available on the boat, and he didn't like the stuff that was on the market, and so made his own. And so here comes this kid, big kid, and he comes into my little barn, and he had the SKB tackle box, which I'll show you in a second. And he proceeded to stand on the thing, and I tell you, this kid, like 6'6", 6'5", got to be pushing 300. Big kid, and he stands on the thing. Well, as it turned out, actually I needed to have a footstool in my little barn so I could hang up my jigs and that sort of thing. So I was attracted at that point, my God, if it's going to hold this 300-pounder, it's going to hold me. I needed a step stool. But then I played with the tackle box, and it's like, there is no reason in the world for the old style wooden tackle boxes that used to be the high end in offshore fishing. The new box was better. And pretty much indestructible, as I found out later through some of our clients that like to do long-range fishing but might fly out from Chicago. And I'd never forget hearing the story of the one fella who came back from the long-range trip, had all the stuff in an SKB box. He's at O'Hare, and he hears the tackle box tumbling down the old conveyor, with the baggage claim. Everything fine, box just fine, but made a believer out of him compared to the other stuff. A wooden box would have cracked and fallen apart with what this thing put up with. In any event, that was the beginning. And since that time, SKB tackle boxes have been something you will see many of the guys have on the long-range trips, because they do such a good job of securely holding a person's gear and good for transport. But I will say their boxes are not known for being light in weight. Let's go over the boxes, because they have 3 of them now, plus a backpack and a rod tube carrier, which I don't think I've got here to show you. I'll double check on that and see if we can bring one out if we've got it here. I might be out of stock right now. In any event, we'll go over the boxes. Okay, this is the original, the 7200 from SKB. Lockable. You can't put a padlock on the thing for transport. or if you're insecure about other guys on the boat, you will notice we have the top storage. These two things are for a shoulder strap, and the shoulder strap, let's open her up, is tacked here. Now this is a jig storage. I'll move the camera up so you can see that a little more clearly in a minute. But you've got a tray here on the top. Let me put the foam back in. Storage here, and here's your strap that comes with the bag. In these long storage that are fairly deep, that's where you can stick in a big Marauder style lure, DTX minnows, Mad Maxes, Marauders, whatever. That's going to fit up here. Tackle storage, you've got a little working area to go with, and now you've got 4 3700 size tackle trays, and you can get other ones, configure them how you want, but very flexible, and you can use these things. I like to set them up for different trips, and so I'll have maybe one set up for wahoo, one for yellowtail, my hooks and terminal tackle, maybe my lead, and everything slides in. Pretty neat. Now some guys will use like a little drop of a hot glue gun there to make it a little harder for the trays to come out if the boat was pitching. Maybe they would slide out if you had her open, but why would you have her open when you can close her up? That's the box, and literally you can stand on these things and jump up and down. Super, super strong. Now the 7200s come as they are. Let me show you one thing. You also have some storage on the sides. So really a good deal of storage on these things, and they're built tough. Now as far as the jig holder, let's take a little closer peek at that. Okay, as I mentioned, here's your jig holder, and you've got probably close to 20 little holes here so you can stick your iron, your jigs in. In this area, it's secured, keep them from flopping around. You can put this back on. Now what happens if one falls through? My God, these guys were genius. As you can see down here, there's a hole where you can grab stuff, and that also makes a pretty good little spot where I'll stick in a pair of dikes or pliers on a trip, and pretty easy access. But that's the way she works. Pretty smooth, pretty easy, and a wonderful piece. Very helpful. Very helpful tackle box. Now, following up on the success of the 7200, SKB came out maybe 2 years later with a 7100 and a 7000 model. Now, on the 7100, this probably is their most popular box for most guys. Again, the same lockable storage. One thing you'll notice differently on these guys, they have rocket launchers. So we've got 4 tubes on the sides. Now, rocket launchers for the 7100 or 7200 rather, the big box that hold the 3700 size Plano tackle boxes. That one does not come with rocket launchers. You can add those later. They're sold in a 4-pack and they work just fine for that. It's easy. You use the existing hardware to mount them. It's quick and easy. Not a big problem. The 71, by comparison to a 72, we still have the storage compartment above. It's not quite as wide of a box, so this isn't as long, but it's still as deep and still is going to hold your Marauder style lures or your big DTX minnows or whatever up on the top storage. We still have our jig storage here, not quite as long as the 7200, but still is going to hold 20 jigs or more up here. We still have the same work area. Again, a little bit smaller, but still good. And now the boxes that are inside, these are a 3600 size Plano type box. And again, they come with 4, and you can get more boxes as you need them and do different things with them. And then the other thing that's a little bit different, let's see if I can move the camera down just a wee bit. You'll see we've got some leader wallets or places where you can put some of your leader rigs already set up here, because we don't have the side storage like we do on the 7200. Notice we don't have the pockets here, on the side. It's the same rotomolded construction, same sort of durability and strength, a little bit smaller, given the smaller boxes, but a really nice box for most folks. And again, I'd probably say this is the most popular for most anglers. The 3700 for the guys that do longer trips, obviously holding more gear. You know, we'll see 72s more as the trip length increases, more 71s, say 6 days and under, but they do a nice job for most anything that way. And then the other box, the little one, 7000. And the 7000, let's see if we can get the camera adjusted a little bit. This one, we lose a little bit of that storage. We don't have the top storage. We do have a little working area here that's recessed down about 1.5 to 2 inches. And we hold 3 of the 3600 size boxes here instead of 4. Lose the jig storage, still have some leader wallets. Don't have any pockets on the side. And you don't have that strap as you do on the bigger boxes because it's easier to hang on to. These things, you know, all of the SKB boxes, they're not necessarily light. You know, the big 7200 probably comes in close to 20 pounds, you know, just the box by itself. So you get that thing loaded up and you may have, you know, 50 pounds or better, you know, have some lead in there or whatever. Lighter here, and, you know, just off the top of my head, I'll say maybe 16 pounds and maybe we're back 10 pounds or so on the little guy. That's not the end of it, but that is the end of the rotomolded boxes from SKB. Next up is their backpack. And the backpack, well thought of, you know, nicely designed again. Up on top, let's see where my zippers are. Good zippers. Open her up, and what's inside? Heavenly days. We have a lunchbox. It's insulated. You can use it or not. If you take it out, well, now we've got good recessed area for storage. You can go ahead and secure things down. You've got a couple of little pieces here that can be used to secure, say, a reel if you wanted to put your reels in front, attached with Velcro, so you can move them around. We have a place for sunglass storage on the side. We've got pockets on both sides. They can hold quite a bit. You could even put a rod in here. There is a rod holder strap on the side. And then when we open her all the way up, well, let's go partial first. There's another pocket. And then now we've got 4 3600 size trays. And you could probably get another one in there if you wanted to and have even more. But it comes with 4. And of course, the cooler. Nice piece. And at their price point, very well done. And these again have been on the market for, good gosh, close to 20 years. Maybe 16 to 18 years anyway, on the soft bags. So this is one supplier of tackle storage that's been around for a while now. We've seen so many of them come and go. But SKB, when it comes to tackle storage, does a dandy job. And now I will prove something to you. If you didn't believe me before about standing on these things, let's see if it will support my girth. Before us we have a 7200, and on top, no problem, no give. That's 200 pounds on a box. This thing going down a conveyor belt at an airport, no problem. Well, as luck would have it, I don't have the rod tube here to show you. Now, I've got 2 of them back home, but I don't have any of them here, unfortunately. I've got to pick up from SKB again. The rod tube, just to describe it, will hold up to a half dozen 6-foot rods. They are made to handle 7-foot rods and below. Kind of a triangular shape, the same rotomolded material. Very, very good for transporting your rods within that length. They're not collapsible or extendable. They're fixed as far as how big they are. And they are also lockable. Same rotomolded material, same sort of durability. A triangular shape is probably the strongest, each side reinforcing the other. That's why you see triangles used in construction so much. So by design, well thought of. They've got experience with other types of cases for other uses. So triangular shape instead of round or squared, and capable of holding up to a half dozen rods, so dandy for a person doing a long range trip. That's SKB, huge company. Thankfully, the owner likes to fish, and likes to boat, and therefore we have tackle boxes. And we've had these things again on the market for 20 years. Most of us are aware of the box, so the video doesn't serve a great service there maybe. But for those of us getting gear together for fishing in long range, maybe as a goal, maybe not long range, maybe just a private boater and you don't like the storage you've got on the boat, but you want something that's going to deal with water and harsh conditions and hold up and deal with turbulence on the water and waves and all that stuff. They've got the best product on the market, and unlike the wooden boxes, you don't have to worry about them. You don't really have to take care of them. You don't have to varnish them. You don't have any cracking or splitting or damage if somebody jumps on the thing or kicks it. They're durable. Very, very durable pieces. So that's it for SKB. If you are looking for a box, no finer ones on the market that I'm aware of. And we've had these things for 20 plus years. Effectively, they have a lifetime warranty from the manufacturer. Good manufacturer. They've been with us for a long time, and they'll be with us for a long time in the future. Thanks for watching. Thanks for visiting Sharkbait, and thank you for your support, especially through this Corona, Wuhan virus stuff. You guys have helped keep us in business through your orders on the website, and for those that were able to come by the retail store and pick stuff up. We're back to being open at this point. We're over this virus business. There's no future in that and a lockdown for any small businesses. So off and at it. SKB is there, and thank you much for the support. Much appreciated by all of us here. Bye-bye.
Your name should be Melody, baby.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Please visit us online or in store. Bye!